Hello guys, it's me Marcia again, Patricia from Arizona. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my daughter and my husband. Say hi, baby. Come say hi.
Hi everybody.
This is my husband, Doug. In few days, we're gonna be married for 2 months. So it's dinner time. One thing I love about my husband is that we always cook together. We make dinner every day, and we also like to make breakfast. And lunch is always leftovers. This is one thing I have learned with my husband because I never used to like this. This is coriander. I'm smashing them. See, when I cook, I like to use the real, see, coriander, and I smash them. And this week we had Indian food, we had Greek food, we had fish. We have one thing I love about my husband and my daughter, they appreciate spices. So we cook with a lot of spices. And we like very spicy food as well. But garlic is something, but garlic, onions, basil is things that, it's spices that we always have, and black pepper, and all those stuff. So we always use spices. We seasoning everything, and people say, oh, so, with race, one thing that I'm very blessed with, and one thing that I'm very amazed by, is that my husband is from here, and you guys see people say white people don't like spices, whatever. His food has to have spices, and he uses a lot of spices. So our food, it has a lot of flavor always. There's no cooking in my home without flavors, and I come from a family that is really big in food and cooking, and so he is too. Since we were dating, I always saw how much she cooks, and his mom always told me her son loves to cook, and I love to cook. So one of the things I'm very grateful with is that we cook together, and so we both like our home clean. We both love food. We both love to cook, and we like family. So I really appreciate that, because it's not every day that you can do that with your partner, and we are a great team. You can put it now, or should I wait a little bit when I put that?
Put it in the batter.
Right? Yeah. See, here he is. I'm allergic to jalapeno, but I love jalapeno and I use it. Yeah, so we always do things together, and I was with my family, and I've been telling them how he is, and they came to spend 2 days with us, and they were like, oh my God, they are so impressed by how he cleans with me, he cooks with me, and the spices, and how he is so welcoming to people, very nice. And it is so impressive that my 4-year-old niece was sitting with us on the table, and she said, Doug, you look like a great father. And everybody got quiet, like, what does she mean? And she said, you look like I'm a good father. And then he said, why? She said, because you are nice to kids, you take care of the kids, you clean the house, you cook, you do everything. And we were really impressed. Like, nobody even thought about her saying something like that. But it's amazing that a child would say something like that, And he wakes up super early. I wake up too. Like by 5 a.m. we are both out of bed. And he wake up earlier than me. And I already try to tell him not to do so. But in the morning, normally I have to leave the house by 7:20 so I can make it to work on time. And I make breakfast, he makes breakfast. And to me, one of the things that I really love is to cook and to make breakfast, because he helps me with a lot of things. A lot of times he's also the one that makes breakfast. And when you have a person like that appreciates you and is so helpful, it gives you pleasure to do those things. So every time I cook breakfast and I see how, look, he's doing the dishes right now. See? So some people do things like that for the show, but this is like every day for our life. My daughter's sitting there. She already did the dishes, and like right now we are decorating the house. We are just doing everything together. And here, so we compose every day. That is something that I'm learning to do as well. Everything that we cook that can be compost, we do. You know, we have a garden growing outside, and we have so many projects that we are doing, and we are teaching each other things. You know, we like our house clean. We like to do things together. And I think like one thing I really didn't realize when I used to say I don't want to get married is the fact that it has good benefits. You know, marriage has a lot of good benefits. And sometimes because of, I saw something on YouTube that really caught my attention that says that when you marry somebody, you are just not marrying the person, you are marrying their history. And both my husband and I had previous relationships. I never been married before. He did, but I was in a relationship for a very long time, and I have a 16-year-old daughter. So we both come from histories. And one of the things that I would say for people that are trying to get married, you know, is that when you get married, don't get married with expectations of a perfect life. Like one of the things that I told myself, I'm getting married, but from the time I'm say yes, I am working on extending grace, because I don't want to come into marriage expecting perfection. I want to come to marriage expecting growth and failures, because there's gonna be moments of growth, there's gonna be moments of failure, and I always pray that I'm gonna have what it takes for me to be forgiving, to be loving. And I didn't realize how many fears I had when it comes to marriage. You know, we don't like to have our hearts broken. You know, I don't believe on divorce. So I didn't realize how much marriage thing was really on my mind. So, you know, here's the thing. My husband and I, we met on Tinder. You know, I was on Tinder for a week. And the week that I was going to get out, I think the day before, whatever, when I was going to get out, I decided tonight I'm making chili beans. It's cold. And I like make from scratch. And I like to make a little bit my style because of the spices I like to put. But yeah, and I put really big bay leaves to really add flavor, and then I take them out. A lot of my spices I buy from the Indian store because they have all the flavor. But yeah, people ask me, you know, where we met, and the day of our wedding, I actually told people we met on Tinder. I'm not afraid of saying that. I'm not ashamed of telling people that we met on Tinder. It's possible, you know, to have a relationship on Tinder. I never knew. I was gonna get out a few days before we met, because I was like, you know, people were sending messages. I was very busy. I just had opened myself up for dating again. I was having fun. I was recovering, as you guys know, when I was sick, I was recovering from that. So I wasn't really focused on building a relationship. I was trying just to get over my last heartbreak. It's when I finally decided I was gonna let it go of everything. And then when I least expected, I gained a husband. I gained, you know, the custody thing went well with my daughter. I gained my health back, and, you know, I gained a husband. We gained each other, right? So, baby.
Yeah.
Here, let me close the pantry. You wasting water like Diviana. Yeah, so tell me, how does it feel being married?
It's a pretty amazing thing.
How do you feel meeting on Tinder?
That was interesting
Why?
because I don't know. It just Tinder has a certain reputation, and
Yeah.
so
How do you like being married?
I love it. I absolutely love it. But she makes it easy, so
I do.
yes,
Sometimes. Right?
yes.
Yeah. So we how does it feel like for us to be a team?
That we do well. I love it. That's something I really enjoy because we do make such a great team.
Yeah.
So
And one thing like I only realized like way a few days before getting married is the fact that we met when I was just healing from the chemo and I was not myself, my body was different. Everything about me changed and I told my mom, if you fell in love with me when I wasn't even my best, imagine when I started really recovering all the way and I'm the person that I used to be. So that touches my heart all the time, because people will fall in love with who you are in different stages of your life. Come and like sometimes like we pray for something, right? We pray for a relationship, we pray for somebody, and we think this is the person that God put in our lives, right? And we pray, we say, especially if that person go to church, we think, oh my God, that must be the right person. So a lot of us, because of church and faith, we pray for relationships that we know that they're in relationships, but we try so hard because we think we are doing God's way, but we are not doing God's way. So to meet my husband in such a different way, unexpected, and for me to be able just to say, yeah, yes, let's get married. And we weren't together for a long time. We were dating for a few months. And I just knew. I told my sister, I don't know what it is. I just feel like we are going to get married. It was like with a few weeks or months of dating. And then we got engaged. We got married. And yeah. So
it all happened very quickly.
very quickly. Like 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. And I'm not saying do that because that could end up being really bad, but for whatever reason, we both felt like we know.
Yeah.
Right?
For us, it worked.
Yeah. So some people, many weddings, you have 1 year or two to prepare. We prepared our wedding in 2 months almost. It was like 1.5 months, right? Because we got engaged July 30th. We were in Jackson Hole. I came back. I couldn't play nothing from there. I came back from Jackson Hole August 16th. And the first time we went to see a place, it was August 23rd. Right? Because in Arizona, October is the #1 month to get married, October and February. So for you to find even a place to get married in October, you have to book a year or two in advance. And there was a cancellation, and we were able to have a date to get married. And we got married. It was beautiful. We did our Indian, and we did a traditional wedding with the white dress, and we also did our Indian wedding. And my dance for him was an Indian song. So that's another thing we had in common that I didn't know, that he loves their culture, he loves their weddings. And so our wedding was nice. It was the people we wanted to be there. It was fun. And so we married. We moved in together to his home, and so now we're trying to make what I like with what he's like together. And it's been fun. It's been fun to see how the house is coming along. It's fun to see how our daughters, because he came in with the daughter, came in with my daughter. So now we both have 2 daughters, right? Because my daughter is his daughter is my daughter. So to have a teenager and a pre-teen, basically, it is a challenge because it's different personalities. And at the same time, it's beautiful because that is also helps to strength. Because the challenges that come with it, we have to grow as family in order to make a house work. And there's those days that you're frustrated, but then you talk it out and you're like, okay, remember, you cannot run away. Sometimes you're dating, you can just run away. When you are married, you cannot just run away. Right? You have to stay in. So one of the challenges, I remember the first day, my first morning when I got married, I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, did I really get married? And it's like I was scared. Um, I was very scared. I was very nervous because I was like, oh my God, I really got married. So, I went to get some, we had people that were going to come to my family home the next day, so I went there, get everything ready. I left the house at 9 something. I was like, oh my God, I'm really married now. I cannot run away. It's just because I realized that how affected some things might have been, how some things negatively had affected me in the past. And I will say I'm very grateful that I got married and to have a person that is willing to work with me, because we both have to be willing to work together. So this is a blessing, It takes two, it takes two. It takes two to make a marriage work. I don't care what nobody says. You have to be willing to make your marriage work. You have to be willing to work together. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to say and to admit that, okay, maybe something in the past has affected me. But sometimes we don't want to do that. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to accept that the past has affected us, right? We go through things in life, they are going to affect us, and it did. But I'm very grateful that I'm married. There's a lot of benefits to marriage. One of them, I was telling my husband, I was cold last night. Just to have somebody to hold you when you're cold is beautiful. And so my advice to you guys, men and women, if you are in a relationship that you wanna, don't wait too long. Don't wait too long. When you wait too long, a person should know. I think within 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Don't wait too long in a relationship hoping it's gonna work. If a person is not for you, it's not for you. If a person for you, is for you. If you go to church all the time and you pray and you want God to show you the right person, don't expect God to say this is the person. Just because if it is a relationship that we feel like it grew because of God or because of church, let it go if it is not for you. God does not want you to suffer. He does not want you to suffer. So, and I pray that, whoever you, and keep your heart open. Open your heart. Open your heart. I know it's difficult when you've been hurt to keep your eye open. I kept my eyes and my heart closed for a very long time because I had hope to be with a person and I had fear of getting hurt. Don't do that to yourself. Give yourself a chance. Meet somebody. Just be very careful. Be extra careful because we know people's faces. We don't know people's hearts. I'm not telling you go to Tinder, go to whatever. I'm just saying we did meet on a dating app. Something that I never thought I was gonna meet my husband on a dating app. It can go in different ways, right? But it happened for us both. So however you meet your partner, he should know if you are the right. She should know. If it's taking too long, let it go. You're just gonna waste your time, like I did. But at the same time, I don't call it waste time because it helped me to grow as a woman. And if it wasn't what happened in the past, I would not realize my value. Hold on. Yes, baby? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes, oh, yeah, I sneezed because that spice went in my nose. Thank you, baby. Yeah, oh, so that's another thing. Sometimes I'm like, why always have to ask me if I'm okay? But it's like, what is better? To have somebody that is going to ask you if it is okay or somebody that won't care? So yeah, I love the fact, and there's some things that we all have our flaws. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect or that my husband is perfect. Come, baby. All I'm saying is that we both have flaws and we have to work through them. So if you think about getting married, don't be afraid just because somebody has flaws or you have flaws. If it is the right person, You will not. And the white person is gonna love you for you with your flaws. It's gonna work with you with your flaws. I never feel judged. I'm doing things with him that I was never comfortable doing anybody. Even people that I was in in relationship for years. There's so many new things that I'm finding out that I love it. And I'm myself 100%. I'm 100% myself. So, what about you, baby?
I just love that you're so accepting, and that she, no matter what I tell her, she's okay with it. She opens her heart to me, and she makes me feel welcome. I love it.
I'm not always okay with it, but if I'm not okay with it, I'll tell you.
But we talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the last minutes. What advice do you give to people right now before?
Keep an open heart. Keep an open mind. Don't give up. And always approach a relationship with a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Even, I know it's hard sometimes, but if you maintain a positive attitude with, and happiness with your partner is yours. I mean, it takes some work, but you can get there.
Mm-hmm. Are we perfect?
No, we're far from perfect, but there's no one that is perfect. But that's why you've got to be so forgiving and accepting.
Yeah. Oh, the whole garlic is trying to swim in there. Yeah, forgiving. I think forgiving is the key. And communication.
Communication.
Yeah, so I communicate more than he does, and now we are trying to balance that.
We're trying to work. I'm trying to work on that.
I'm too. Because sometimes we can communicate a little too much. So we're trying to communicate in a way that we can express ourselves without saying things we shouldn't say.
Without hurting each other.
Yeah, so that's our main thing. Okay, guys, I'm gonna upload more videos. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit update about me and my husband and my family and my daughters. I'll see you soon.